I think if you wanted to kind of step into keyboards for a cheap amount of money, this is excellent for that. I guess let's start off with the Lucky though, shall we? Okay, so first of all, I just want to put this here. This is the Lucky65 V2. I think out of any keyboard in existence, ever, on my YouTube channel and in Twitch even, this is probably the most requested keyboard I've ever received. This one here is from Kinetic Labs. I believe this was $79 when I got it. Still is $79. This is the non-built version. So we're going to be building it today. I'm thinking about just building this stock to see what the fuss is about here. It is, again, one of the most popular boards. Everyone's been telling me I gotta try this thing, so here it is. The colors are nice. The anno quality is, I mean, it's good. It's not quite as good as some of the other anno qualities I've seen. There's definitely a little bit more of like a speckle to this, which to me usually means it's not as like great as an anno quality, but honestly, this is still fantastic for what it is. What do you mean by stock? I'm probably just going to pop in switches, and then maybe we'll fiddle around with some of this too. I don't know if I want to build this with no foam, unless you guys want me to build it with no foam. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to build this today. But this is a no frills kind of look over here. Again, box on wedge, a little bit of a taper down the middle over here. It is very, very, very simplistic, and I enjoy that. For the price point, this is good. I don't know, actually. I have to double check for him. The weight's interesting on this, too. I'll give it to them for this. The weight is super interesting. I like the pattern they ended up going with this. Not for nothing here, but the four-leaf clover is actually pretty cool, too. But, I mean, overall, this kind of crackled look on the back is kind of cool. It's pretty nice. Like, it's a pretty nice look. Again, this is $79, so pretty simplistic in its machining. Don't expect anything like crazy machining wise here. You're getting what you're paying for here, which is a very, very simple overall shape for a keyboard. Actually, you know what? Speaking of anno, I am noticing a little bit of, I don't know if that's banding or machining marks here on the front. It might be tough to pick this up, so you're gonna have to just take my word on this. Yeah, a little tough on stream to pick this up, but again, though, for $79 for a kit that you can build that comes with, I think this is even wireless too, correct? Not bad. You do get plate-mounted stabs, which I know there's like this stigma, which people think these are like the worst stabilizers in existence. I disagree. I think if you know what you're doing, this is perfectly okay. Like, you can get away with plate-mounted stabs and never notice a difference. There's a little instruction sheet here too. I kind of want to open it up, though, just to see what's inside. Is this a hidden screw design, or how does this work? How do we take these off? Is it a ball catch system? Oh, it is. Jeez. So this is a ball catch system, which, I mean, let's demo that again. Balls. Ball catch system. All right, so right away I can tell you this is probably a 1.2 mil PCB. Yeah, this is 1.2. Flex cuts, so we probably will leave the foam in. I'm going to tell you guys right now, my personal preference when it comes to flex cuts on a PCB, we are probably not going to bother with no foam. It just, the sound profile is really, really thin when you do so I'm not going to bother. There is PE sheet as well, or some sort of sheet. I don't know if this is like an IPXE sheet or a PE sheet, plus plate foam here. And then we have, so this is a really light, I think this is more of an EVA foam. This is a really light foam. This really doesn't do a whole lot. It's not as dense as something like Poron, but it does look like they have another sheet here at the bottom. And I'm guessing that all the battery and whatnot is underneath this. So in between this little section is most likely where we're going to see the battery. We do have a proprietary daughter board, but again, I expected as much just because this has a battery to it. And then in terms of mounting style, we have silicone mounts, silicone tabs. I will say this, I appreciate what they did with how the tab system works here. Little note. See how it has relief cuts right down the center over here as well? So right over here we have relief cuts. That actually, even though there's a mounting point underneath the spacebar, which typically I don't prefer, this would actually mitigate a lot of the vibration being sent back to the PCB, which is a nice little touch. I don't know what brand of hot swaps sockets these are. I've never seen them before, I don't think. But we do have some hot swap sockets. They're not Kale, so that means they don't have those little crazy sharp parts to them which will hurt your fingies. And then if you wanted to go PCB mounted stabilizers, you cannot, which is a bit of a drawback for some. So you're going to be stuck with plate mounted stabs. There are no holes at all for going PCB mounted stabilizers with this PCB. Again, this is something that I picked up. Like, this is not sponsored or anything. Like, this is a bit of a bummer that it doesn't have those things. Now, again, it's $79, but I almost don't think adding little holes in the PCB would really increase the cost of your production at all. You might have to move around some stuff on the PCB, but I mean, like, that could have been thought of beforehand. I mean, still, the price point's not bad for this, 79 bucks. Well, let's give it a go then. Let's plug this back in and start popping in some switches here. Again, this shouldn't be a terribly long build for the Lucky. I appreciate what's inside the box here. Definitely some stuff missing. And you know what? This might be a perfect board to compare to something like the Neo Core. Like, how does this stack up against something in a very, very similar price range? And right now, I'm going to be real with you guys. This is lacking a lot of the same features. Yeah, I saw someone in chat said that the 1.6mm PCB was exclusive to Vietnam or something like that. Catchable system is nice. I feel like a lot of people will probably appreciate that. I do like the fact that, even though this is not on the outside of the keyboard, I like the fact, unlike the Neo boards, that this is easier to toggle. So if you want to go with the wireless mode, you don't have to grab a tweezer, take off your keycap, and fiddle with it. Well, okay, let's put in some switches. I was actually going to try these. These are the Sillyworks X Gateron Type Rs. This has to be one of the shortest actuations I've ever seen in a Switch. It's also tactile. I think this will be kind of cool to pair with this. At least I thought it would be. I feel like right away I'm a little bit disappointed by some of the lack of options here. But like, I don't know, this is tough for me because I don't think I have the capacity to look at this in any other way other than the way I would also look at something in the $200 price range or like a custom anything, you know? To me, this is still a custom keyboard, and to me, I still have expectations. I do like the color of this. This is a nice colored keyboard. The ano is very shiny. You can even see the reflection off of my hand here. Oh, are those little scuffs on the board already? Or did I just... Oh, that's just me. I did that. Okay. It does look like it scuffs pretty easy, though. Again, ano quality is adequate. So let's quickly go over... Actually, let's type and then we'll go over a list of pros and cons. Don't mind the sound of this at all, though. I can see why people recommended this to me. I will give the Lucky V2 some credit here. The stabs are incredibly, incredibly smooth. They are so well done from the factory here. That is, again, I think these are the best modded, again, maybe it varies unit per unit here, the best modded stabilizers I've ever used, like out of the factory. Impressive. They also sound, like, it doesn't sound what I thought it was going to sound like. This sounds nice too. Like, it's definitely a foamier sound signature. I probably wouldn't build this without not having like a flex cut, non-flex cut PCB, like without foam. I'd leave the foam here no matter what I do here. It is convenient that this has a catchball system. I don't think this is deterring from the keyboard sound at all. Acoustically, yeah, this is a pretty nice board for what they're offering here. So pros, yeah, I like the way this sounds. I think this sounds fine. Like, this is really nice. If you're going for the foamier sound signature, then do it. Go for it. I don't think you can build this playlist, right? Hold on, let me unplug it. Oh, you can technically, huh? I don't know if I'd build this playlist, though. Without buying a non-flex cut PCB. It's a PCB with the gaskets. So yeah, I like the board. Overall, I think the board's nice. However, some disappointing parts about this. The PCB and plate are the weakest parts about this build. PCB and plate are absolutely the weakest. Like, if you're buying this with the intention of building it one way, and you're gonna have to buy add-ons to do it other ways. Criticism and room for improvement for the brand behind the Lucky, you could have just added that into one package. If you're gonna build it with flex cuts and basically chopping up the PCB anyway, or the plate anyways, you could have just added all those features. It kind of feels like you're paywalled off to get like the full use of your PCB. I also would have designed it with PCB mounted stabilizers for those who want to change up parts of the board. I think it's a bit weird to offer catchball system, which is so you can tinker with your board, but then limit the options of which you can tinker with the board. To me, that makes literally zero sense. It's like, hey, we want you to open this up, but there's not much to actually do. So you're kind of just adding a feature for the sake of adding a random feature. Again, I have no quarrels with plate-mounted stabs, but options are a great thing. The custom keyboard world, you have to be able to customize your thing. And the more ways you can customize your product, the better way, right? In fact, I probably would have went with opting to not put in catchball system here and maybe use that money to do a better plate, you know? I mean, the only point of opening this would be to maybe take out a piece of the foam. Like, really, that's all I can think of. And maybe take out the PCB so you can actually properly put in the switches with the hot swap socket. But other than that, there really doesn't seem to be like a big reason to open this. Would I get this board though, with everything else on the market? You know what, actually, after typing on this, thinking about it, for $79, I still think there's a reason. I think this has like a purpose in the market for 79 bucks as a you know, bare bones kit. I do. I think this has a market. It comes in slightly cheaper than some of its competitors with far less options. I can see me wanting to type on a foamy board every now and then, and you know what? I think this might be one of the more solid choices to pick up if you're into this sound profile. The wireless is nice too. I'm a little disappointed in the... I feel like this is just a roundabout discussion that I talk about with like every board at this point here. You know, just be VIA compliant. I don't know why this is so difficult. So it's just way easier for customers to grab this board, plug it in, and start customizing their layout. Instead of having to download a JSON, learn how to upload it properly, learn how to use that, and then keep the JSON on file in case you change computers in the long run, or clear cache. Is that problematic? I think so, but I think that's basically a lot of overseas boards at this point here, even some American boards at this point here. It's just no one's being VIA compliant as much as they used to be, I suppose. I think if you wanted to kind of step into keyboards for a cheap amount of money, this is excellent for that. Are you getting the best of everything? No. And I say good enough with a lot of love. Is this good enough? Absolutely. From an enthusiast though, from someone who's seen like a lot of keyboards, I think there's things missing, but oh well, I think is the answer here. And I think a lot of people would also be fine with saying, oh well. I guess that's it for this board. Do you guys feel like there's enough criticism that went into this? Obviously the way you build it and customize it is going to be a very personal matter. I like the way it sounded though. It sounded good.